Oh, what about this season? What is at stake for Russell Wilson in 2023, Peter?
You know, it's for me as media guy who's sitting here in this thing, for me to value someone else's career and start judging what they did accolades-wise, it seems like it's an absurd gesture. And yet, who votes on the Hall of Fame? Guys like me who did not play the game, who are voters, who are writers, that's who votes on the Hall of Fame. And to me, you can't have another goose egg this year. You can't do another back-to-back season of what it was last year. Wilson was terrible last year, and there were so many different things going on. Obviously, first-year head coach we had no relationship with, that went sour. There was an ownership sale during the season where things were completely handed over. There were player injuries to Javonte Williams. There were decisions in the game, fourth quarter head-scratchers, weird decisions with let's kick a field goal in week 1 against Seattle as opposed to let's try to go for it with Russell Wilson. And then it was just a tumbling ball down. But you have another bad season? You could always be the Walter Payton Man of the Year. You could always be a Seahawks Super Bowl champion. But I don't know if we're still talking Russell Wilson Hall of Famer if you start having all these bad seasons in a row. Has put up great numbers, has won a Super Bowl, has done. Your legacy matters, though. And this Denver chapter, for what they have sold to get you, for what they have given up to get you, and now a new head coach that is a quarterback-friendly head coach who is a guy who's had a ton of success. If this thing falls apart for Russell Wilson and we see Jarrett Stidham week 7 under center, I think it becomes a Russell Wilson problem, and it's not the environment was weird and they didn't. The new owners, they have put a ton of resources into this team. They have hired a head coach who is getting an estimated $20 million a year to coach this team, and he wants success for you. To me, it's Russ's legacy on the line, and I believe he needs to have a bounce-back year. If he has another bad year, I don't know how long this Denver thing goes on, because I don't know if they're going to be willing to just say, hey, you know what? It's Russell Wilson. Look what he did back in 2016 and 2018. No. It's 2023. Russell Wilson has to bounce back. Otherwise, I think there's a bit of a stain on his legacy as a quarterback in the league.
You mentioned Hall of Fame. At this point for Russ, what do you think he is a Hall of Fame player? Or
we could do 3 hours on this.
I knew that answer. What would it take for him to become, does he have to win another Super Bowl? Is it just hey, he plays 5 more years and he's really good?
I'm not sure he isn't a Hall of Famer right now if he never takes another snap. I think there's an argument to be made that he was a quarterback that was at a high level and won a Super Bowl for his, one of the best teams of the era that he played in. Mm-hmm. But I don't think he's at all a slam dunk first ballot guy. I think he needs to have a couple good years in this Denver uniform to solidify it, or it's no question. What do you think?
I would agree with you, and I think that's what's at stake. I think for Russell Wilson, you look at his career, came in, he wasn't this top 5 pick, wasn't this first-round guy. He came in and changed the Seattle Seahawks organization. I remember playing him in the preseason when they had signed Matt Flynn, and then next thing you know, Russell Wilson gets in the game, and this guy's running all over the field. So when you talk about his career and his legacy, what he's already done has been tremendous. This guy, not only on the field, has been a really good football player. You mentioned yesterday, all of these Seattle Seahawks passing records. He'll be in their Ring of Honor, won a Super Bowl, the stuff he does off the field, different endeavors, all of those different things. I feel like what's at stake now, as you get older in the NFL, is a 35-year-old quarterback. And I'm not saying he's old or anything like that, but at this point, you had a rough season last year. If it's another rough season this year, the question now becomes, all right, is this the end of Russell Wilson's career? And I'm not saying he's going to end his season after 2023, his career. He may continue to play, but now the question marks are, all right, are we bringing this guy in to consistently win, and we think he's the guy that's going to bring us to the Super Bowl? To your point, if Jarrett Stidham enters the game over Russell Wilson at any point, it's hard to say he's not going to be a Denver Bronco. The contract and all of those different things, cap hits, how all of those stuff work. I don't know if they can move on from him, but I think from the standpoint, Russell Wilson isn't going to be a backup quarterback anywhere. He's a starter. He's a lead dog. He's an alpha. So I think at this point, he needs to have a bounce-back season. Doesn't have to be a all-pro. Doesn't have to be he's the best quarterback in the league. But Denver has to win, and they have to win on his back for him to bounce back and be the quarterback that we've seen in the past.
I'm still shocked that they gave Artie Burns Russell's.
That's for context. In Seattle, a player named Artie Burns, former first-round pick of the Steelers, is going to be wearing number 3 for the Seahawks, and the Seahawks organization just said, yeah, you can wear it, Artie Burns. And you're still shocked by that.
I don't like that. Just retire don't retire it now, but don't let anyone wear number 3 ever. This is number 3. This is Russell Wilson. He's one of the best quarterbacks in this history, no one should wear number 3, especially Artie Burns.
I see Travis Homer running around in a 25. Were you shocked by that?
I saw DJ Dallas wearing a 31.
Cam Chancellor's number, like
somebody's wearing number 50. But anyway, when I look at this Russell Wilson situation, this could potentially go down as the biggest trade heist in NFL history. We're talking 2 first-round picks. We're talking 2 second-round picks. We're talking a bunch of good football players. Noah Fant, Shelby Harris, Drew Lock, and we're talking about they gave this man 5 years and paid him a lot of money to say you are our guy for the next 5 years. Russell Wilson, we're putting all our eggs into you, and all they've gotten so far is 5 wins and a fired head coach. And so right now, this is looking very scary. This is looking ugly. And the Seahawks, they hit on their draft picks.
They did.
They got Tariq Woolen. They got 2 offensive linemen that started as rookies. They got the best wide receiver in this draft, in Jackson Smith and Jigba, and Devin Witherspoon. They are hitting. They are winning right now. And so for Russell, like you said, his legacy is on the line. John Snyder and Coach Harrell are looking like geniuses right now. And so it's not over, it's just 1 year, but right now it's looking pretty scary. And so I need Russ to get this figured out this year, because like you said, his legacy is definitely on the line.
You know this dude. Does he care about legacy? Does he care about stuff?
He does.
And
he
so does he know, you think, internally, like, I gotta step it up? Or is he just like, hey, I'm encouraged today? Like,
No.
No.
Be encouraged. I like that, but get it right.
It's stay
Execute.
encouraged, Peter.
Yeah, stay encouraged.
Stay encouraged, be encouraged, win ball games. That's all that matters. Everyone is depending, like people's jobs are on the line. Ownership, they put so much into you. Nathaniel Hackett came for his first year as a head coach, and he's one and done because of the lack of production, because the lack of, hey, you were great in Seattle, but now I come here and, we win 5 games. And so people are losing jobs right now because of poor performances. And so he can bounce back. He does know it. The fan base is letting him know. The media is letting him know. I hope that his friends and his agents are letting him know, hey, bro, let's get back to the drawing board. Yeah. Hey, bro. Hey, let's do what we do best. Let's leave the gimmicks alone, get back to winning football, and that's all that matters.
And Sean Payton's there now, too. So that excuse to Hackett, new coach, that's out the window. Payton's an offensive guru. No one's going to believe he's the one who's messing it up.
Yep. Well, and to your point about Sean Payton is, I think, people love Sean Payton, right? And he's so good at what he does, but that's going to come with an added layer of pressure in terms of what you just said. There's nobody else. People think that Sean Payton is an immediate fix, whether that's fair, whether it's not. You say Sean Payton's going to the Broncos, and it's like, oh, problem solved, right? And it's never as easy as that. I do think, one bad season, statistically, one bad season can be an aberration in what's been a very long and successful career. But I think when you go, what's at stake, I think even just bigger picture, because it wasn't just the on-field stuff that was statistically not good. It was just everything that surrounded that story and the drama and at times sort of this like public shaming of Russell Wilson, be it from articles and things that came out. And then it just felt like it turned into such a bigger thing than just, now some of that is because of the draft status that you just put up in terms of what was received, right? So that's one component. Then there's the on-field component of what he did or didn't do. But then there's this other component of, the stuff we saw on the sidelines with teammates and other teammates that were taking shots at him. It became just a bigger than what was happening on the football field on Sundays thing. And so I would believe that he wants to get a lot of things fixed, and it's not just the football perception, right? There was just a bigger
he was being openly mocked on TV, and after this guy was the Walter Payton Man of the Year and beloved, he was considered.
He was the golden child. He was the golden child.
And now, you've got reporters on the screen, looking at the camera, being like this after interviewing when it says "Let's ride," and everyone cheers for that. And he was a parody last year. He was made fun of.
Go ahead.
No, I would say what will determine a good season for Russell Wilson and the Denver Broncos? Is it winning the division? Is it making the playoffs?
Be great.
It top 10 in offense? What will determine?
Playoffs to me. In that division, maybe they don't win it, obviously, with Kansas City, but I would think playoffs, at least to be able a wild card to get in. To me, when you talk about his legacy, how do you look at that? Because I know as a player, we define legacy, and right away we go for him like a Hall of Fame. But this is a guy you just mentioned, a Walter Payton Man of the Year, does a ton of work. We talked about it yesterday. He has his own clothing brand. He's in Subway commercials. This guy has done everything. When you talk about legacy, how important do you classify that stuff alongside the Hall of Fame?
I don't. It doesn't mean that much to me. The commercials, the off the field stuff. No one cares about that. For me, it's all on game day. What do you mean to your teammates? What do you mean to the fan base? How much joy do you bring to the city of Seattle? That's when we talk about legacy, leaving an imprint on people in that building. That's what really matters. I can go in that building right now and I can just walk in like I kind of own the place because I'm loved, I'm respected. People value me. At the end of the day, that's what really matters. All that other stuff is fine and dandy, but if you don't got people that love you, it really doesn't matter.